Good morning, Bickies. How's it going? It's Tara. It's Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. We're nearly midday, and it's time for the Biscuit Box. This is our weekly live show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And every week we turn up. Sometimes it's just me. And sometimes we have guests on the show. Today it is just me again. And we talk about creativity. We talk about some of the kind of things that might be keeping you up at night. We talk about what things are going on in people's lives and how they impact their daily tasks and how they get over the challenges that they get thrown with, like we all do. We just talk about a lot of cool stuff related to creative people and their lives. And my angle is the business side of stuff. We just don't talk about the business side of creativity. We like to talk to people that are out doing exhibitions and craft fairs, launching new products. I love to talk to people that are focusing on self-care, and I think that's something that's really important. A lot of the time, people that run businesses or people like me that coach and mentor people in business forget to implement the self-care element into people's businesses, into their timeline for their business, because self-care is so hugely important if you want to progress, if you want to grow in your business or with your business. And it's something that I think more and more business coaches and mentors like what I do need to highlight that, the importance of that. And we're going to be talking to a few people in the wellness industry over the next few weeks, but that's coming up next week. I'll ping the details of that during the week. So I'm excited about that. So I want you to think about specifically today, what are you doing around the self-care thing? Do you meditate? Do you go for a walk daily? Do you just spend time with yourself without making a list or without buzzing your head off? Because as a creative, I know that your brain never stops. It's always on. Even when you're on that walk, you're looking, you're getting inspired, and that's a really beautiful thing to do. But it's always on, isn't it? It's very hard to switch that amazing brain of yours off. And so self-care and enabling yourself to give yourself space in your brain and time is very, very beneficial if you want to grow your business, or if you want to go, get really productive in the studio and give yourself that creative push that you might be lagging in after Christmas. And there's always that January pressure of, heck, I have to sort stuff out now. Like the holidays are finished. I have no excuse, and the pressure is on. So just have a little chat with yourself today at some point. What am I actually doing for myself here? Because you are really important. You're the gold in your business, not your products, not your service. You are it. And if you don't look after you, the whole thing breaks down. So please put that at the very center front of your brain today. I know there's loads of other stuff in there, cool, wonderful, mad stuff, but push that self-care thing right to all that other stuff, and it will impact how you process the rest of the ideas and everything else that goes on in that amazing brain of yours. Okay. Who's in with me this morning? Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Maura O'Connell. How's it going? Hey, Kirsten. Hey, Angela. How's it going? Hey, Danielle. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you guys with me this morning. I have my candle lighting. My hand cream is being squashed into my hands. And today I want to talk to you about naming your business. And I know, and I get this question a lot, actually. I get this question a lot. How do you, that was just a phone call there, sorry. How do you name your business? But more specifically, why did you call your business Biscuit, Tara? Like, And I want to share that story with you this morning. It might inspire you. It might, well, it'll let you in on the story behind Biscuit and Bite the Biscuit and the Biscuit Factory and the sure, it's all around biscuits, like. So where did that come from? So I'm going to share that story with you this morning. And I also just want to guide you a little bit if you're starting out with a business, or if you're going, I'm allergic to how my business feels or what it actually stands for, and you might be thinking of a rebrand, or you might be thinking of changing direction completely, or do you have to change the name of your business, and why are you feeling like that? And this might help you as well. No, it will help you definitely if you're coming up with new products all the time and you're looking for how to name them in a cool kind of way that links to your brand name. So I'm just going to talk about that this morning, and let's see what happens. So here it goes. Oh, hey, Donal, how's it going? To the best dancer in feckin' Ireland. Oh, you rocked it, Donal. Sorry, we had a big party last weekend and Donal was so rocking it. Like, he danced all night. Donal, you're a legend, boy. You're a legend with the head bops. I'm still getting over it. Hey, Brita, hello, how's it going? Okay, so first I'm going to share that story with you. Jeannie Mac, around 4 years ago, I think it was 4 years ago, I decided, okay, I was working 3 jobs. Biscuit, which wasn't Biscuit at that time, was in my head. I was doing some one-to-one coaching very gently while working the other 3 jobs. It was a bit mental, but you all know that, right? And that's something that I would have to say, that where I am now in my business takes a lot of graft, a lot of work. And you guys know that you have to put in the work and make smart decisions with why you're doing what you do. But anyway, I'm not going to go into, I was going to go down a route of why are you doing what you do? But that's a different conversation. I won't bombard you. Stop opening the shiny folders, Tara. So naming, right? So I knew that this is what I had to do. I had to help creative people. I wanted to be a painter originally, a million years ago. And just to give you a little backstory, so I wanted to be a painter a million years ago. I went to art school the very first few weeks, where you are given your schedule and you're tempted with all the different things. Oh, it was amazing. So, you've all the different classes that you can go to, that you have to go to in year 1. And I searched for the marketing department. How am I going to sell this? If I create a body of work, how am I going to do an exhibition? How am I going to sell it? How do I get funding? How? And the answers to the how was ha. Are you cracked? And this put me off that choice of spending 4 years in an institution that's not going to teach me how to sell stuff. But thankfully I did that, and I connected with so many creative people, and that, I think that was my love more than actually creating the work. When I think back, I just loved being around creative people and the energy and the magic that you guys have in you, that you don't even fucking realize, the magic you have in you naturally, that other people will never even get close to having that. And so how am I going to make money from this? Okay. And then I opened businesses and closed businesses and sold and did all this other stuff, because that's my innate ability, is to run businesses and make money, right? And to create cool things and create stuff. That's my creative side. So this all came with me through my life. Oh, Jesus, like the lads back all my friends that are in art school that have done this and come out the other side, they're still working part-time jobs. They're depressed because they're not doing their work full time. there's a hole here. And so I went through a lot of different projects and businesses to always have that thought process throughout everything that I did. Everything that I did was I have to go back to that and help creative people because there's a hole there. So the naming of the business was very important, and I knew that that was my calling, and I knew that that's why I was breathing, and this is why I have to do what I do. So the naming was very, very important for me, and I was getting kind of caught up with it. I was getting kind of caught up with it, going, "Oh my God, like what am I going to call this business?" Jeannie Mac, Tara helps creative people. you know yourself, you get stuck like because you know what you want to do, but kind of putting a name on it is quite difficult. Anyway, tip number one was relax. Take a break from trying to brainstorm and trying to figure it out, and go deep into why you're doing what you do and who you're serving. And for me, it was a couple of bottles of wine in France with my husband. We had, thank God. Hang on a second. I'm just grasping at that time of my life with no children. Anyway, no children, 2 bottles of wine. This is what happened. And a brainstorm. After leaving some space, remember what I talked about initially, giving yourself some space to breathe it out and not to push it. And my husband, who's from corporate land, he said, right, we're going to name this because you keep going on about it, we have to sort it out. So we had some fun with it and played with it. And he said to me, okay, Tara, what are you trying to do? Like, what's your vision? What's your core offering? You know, what is it that you do? And I said, well, you know, I'm kind of doing a lot of different things. Like, I want to bring people together. I want people to inspire each other. It's not about me. It's not about me. I'm facilitating, right? But I'm also helping social media, their branding, their messaging, why they're doing what they do, keeping them focused. Like, there's a lot going on. How do you put that into one word or a word? And something that was important that came out from the conversation was, it's not about me, even though I'm the front of the business and I do train and but I facilitate. It's about the community. So that made a decision for me, and I'd like you to think about this as well. That made a decision for me not to use my name. So there's no Tara Prendergast, that's my name, by the way, and people know me as Tara Boo from Facebook. That's not really connected to my brand in any way. So that was a decision, and that's something that I always say to people. Do you want to be at the center point of your business? Does it make sense to what you're offering? Anyway, I'm going off now on tangents. I want to finish this story first. So it's not about me, it's about you guys, it's about the community. I want to bring people together to teach them and all this stuff. And you know, it's all about business really, and filling that hole and enabling creative people to learn about business and to know how to feckin' do it all, because it's a pain in the hole if you don't know, and it's overwhelming. I want to take all of that away, and I have to do this. And so my husband said, okay, so it's around business. So really there's lots of different elements to it. So really you're putting a kit together for people, like a toolbox, right? For people, like a business toolbox. And I said, yeah, I kind of like that. There's lots of things in it to help people, right? And it enables people, right? And then he said, and remember, he's from corporate land where they use acronyms all the time. With acronyms is they shorten, you know, names and they make them into little wordy things. Acronyms. And so he said, oh, okay, hang on a second. So how about business, biz, B-I-Z, kit, K-I-T. And I went, oh my God, I love you so much. That's fucking brilliant. Biscuit. And he went, no, not Biscuit, biz, Biscuit. I went, oh my God, oh, vomit. No, Biscuit, of course. Of course, Biscuit, because Biscuit is doesn't have anything to do with business. It's creative, it's alternative, and they will get it. They will understand. They will get it completely because I do. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Jumped. Okay, I could have, after 2 bottles of wine, I probably would have loved anything. But it made sense because Biscuit is a comfort thing. You have a cup of tea and a chat around a community, and it fitted so well. And that's how Biscuit was born, the actual name Biscuit. So there's no real theory. There was no formula. 2 bottles of wine, a French husband that puts everything into acronyms. But the important thing was when I heard it, I knew it. I knew that was it. It made complete sense to me, not to anybody else, not to my husband. He thought I was completely bonkers. Then I definitely knew I was onto something. When he said, oh my God, you're mad. Brilliant. Because I knew you guys are on the same level. You would get it, you would understand it, and you would appreciate that alternative thing. So that's how Biscuit was born. And then Bite the Biscuit was like an addition, like an additional branding kind of thing that was attached to it, because I didn't want to call it just Biscuit, the group. I would always advise, if you're starting a group, a community that's attached to your business, you don't call it the same name as your business, because it's not your business. It's around community and conversation and support, so it's quite different. So I always suggest that you call it something else. And I called our support group, our community, Bite the Biscuit. Why? Because Bite the Biscuit is, go on, do it, like, come on, join us. We're going to make shit happen. Bite the biscuit, bite the bullet, and it all made sense. So for you, if you're stuck naming your company or naming your business, or you want to launch new products and you're trying to come up with something unique and clever, I want you to think about your industry and where you are, and what is relevant to your industry. Like, what it all has to impact back to your overall industry, but to your audience as well. And I want to highlight one person in the Biscuit community that is super smart and very, very clever at this particular type of thing, and her name is Audrey Dalton, and her business is portrait.ie. I'm just going to pull Audrey's website there, and I'll put it into the comments for you guys to have a look, and you'll see what I mean about this, right? I'm just going to put it in here and show you guys. So it's portrait.ie. I want you to have a look at Audrey's, I'll show that again, at Audrey's website. She does it very, very cleverly, and she has a community that she's building as well, and everything. So if you think about it, portrait, instead of portrait, it's portrait. Like, oh my God, I love it. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of a pun at what you're doing. Instead of saying Audrey Dalton portrait, doggy portrait photography, portrait is like it's just a pun on the word portrait, but it's obviously so connected to a dog, like paws. It's very, very clever, and she runs that through all her products and all her subgroups and communities and everything that she does. You'll see how she does that if you go onto her site to check her out. So very, very smart girl regarding branding and doing this kind of thing with her business. And for me as well, like, we all know each other as Biscuits. There's the Biscuit Factory, which is our training membership site, and now the Biscuit Marketplace, where we sell all our goods. And so everything is related to Biscuit. Bite the Biscuit, which is obviously our community, our free community, and all the other things that will come from Biscuit, but it all comes back to Biscuit, you know. So it's an important one. The big question I know is, should I put me, and I know creative people struggle with this one, should I use my name in my business? That's a personal decision. I think you should think about how closely you need to be attached to your business. For me, yes, it's me. I'm in the front. I'm doing all the stuff, but it's not about me. It's about the community is at the center of what I do. So it's about the bickies, like it's about Biscuit rather than Tara. You know what I mean? So it didn't make sense for me to do that. But a lot of people in my space, mentoring and coaching and helping people with their businesses, put themselves in the front because they're the key element of what they do, and that is that. So if a lot of artists use their names, and I think rightly so, I think if you're going to use your name, just be careful and be mindful that that you have to work very hard online to make sure your work is your style of work is connected to your name very strongly. So the campaign would be, your work is so out there that when people think of your name, they think of your work. If there's a lot going on with your work and a lot of different products and a lot of different styles perhaps that you do, there's no solid style attached to your work, like Karen Hickey. We all know Karen Hickey. One of her cushions is behind me there. Is that portrait stuff, and it's artist Karen Hickey, and we know, oh my god, that's a Karen Hickey, like straight away. The same with Fran Halpin and her work, and the girls were on a couple of before Christmas doing Art Source, and they've connected their work very, very strongly to their names, right? If that's not you yet, or if it's not where you want to go, and you're diversifying with what you're offering, but you still want to use your name, you could do what Lorna Watkins does, Studio by the Sea. And so it's Lorna Watkins Studio by the Sea, and she uses her Studio by the Sea as nearly a brand name around her work, but Lorna Watkins is attached to it as well. So that's a decision, because Lorna does a lot of other stuff. She does experiences, she sells products, there's a lot of stuff going on with Lorna in her studio. So you see how it depends on how you're positioning and what you're actually doing with your body of work, and how open you want it to be for new products or new lines or experimenting with different things. So there's a lot of things to think about. There's one website, this is for people that are launching new products and are going, oh, what am I going to call it? There's a brilliant website called onelook.com. I'm just going to pull that one now into the onelook.com, and onelook.com is a dictionary search for related words for whatever word you put in. So I'm just going to put that up so it's onelook.com. And onelook.com is brilliant because for inspiration and getting some ideas, when you put in, say, for example, oh God, I'm gone blank, dogs. or dog photography, or whatever you're doing, if you put it in, it gives back shitloads of words related to that word that could inspire you for your next product. Another thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about naming your business, if you're not going to go down with your name, or if your name is a bit, they'll never get their head around that, it's too long, or you could have a particularly name to pronounce and it looks totally mental written down, misspell it or leave out a letter, or not have to have it perfect, take away a few letters and make something with it yourself that makes a nicer name, or makes it more digestible. And play around with the spelling of your name. A really famous one for this is Flickr. So the people at Flickr missed the word flicker and left out the E. So it's Flickr. And now that's the brand. And the misspelling of the name of the word Flickr actually their own brand without the E. So don't be afraid to misspell things, leave out a letter, but the word still sounds the same, if you know what I mean, in that kind of way. So play around with spelling as well if you're stuck on your name. So let me see. Any questions? I better stop talking and see have we any questions. Hey Antoinette, how's it going? Hey Susan, how's it going? Terry Cutlip, how's it going? Paddy, morning, Paddy, and Elvira, how's it going? Susan says, Susan says, Brill, wine definitely gets the creativity flowing. I'm telling you, girl, it always helps, definitely. And being on holidays as well does, you know, and having no children, actually. But I think giving your brain some space is very important. So if you're constantly going from one to one to one to one to one to the next to the next to the next, trying to get results all the time, your creativity gets stumped, definitely. So space and self-care is very, very important. Antoinette says, for some reason, I'm imagining you doing a robot dance singing Bite the Biscuit. It has been done. So let me oh, hey Mary, how's it going? Mary, hope you're feeling better. Hey Orla, how's it going? Thanks again for all the comments. So I'd love to know where you're at with that, and if you have any questions or if you need some break, hit me in the comments below and I'll dive in after the live on that to try and banter some stuff out with you if you're stuck on it, or if you just want to branding and a branding nuggets on specifically naming products or naming things, or if you have ideas for new things, how you can package them. But onelook.com is a great tool. You should check that out. And always remember as well, when you're naming stuff, what's your long-term game plan? Do you want to sell your business in the future? Like, can you see you doing what you do until you retire? Or is this something that is quite short-lived and you eventually kind of want to try and sell the business on? That's very, very, very important. Deciding whether you attach you to it or not. So think about that one. It's a very, very important question to ask yourself. Terry says, I have two different things going on, would like to merge them. Brilliant, Terry, because that happens all the time. And it's funny that you said that, Terry, because when I work with people in the foundation program and over in the Biscuit Factory, we talk a lot about this. I'm a huge believer in creating a very strong brand over your creative work, whether that be Studio by the Sea or Friend Helping Artist or whatever it is. There's a boom at the very, very top because you want to enable yourself to create as many products and projects and blah, 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 blah underneath. Why? Because creative people get bored. I get bored every 5 minutes. I'm bored, I want to do something new. If you put yourself into one category, for example, Tara, business coach for creatives, that's all I can do. And that's not all I want to do. I want to do loads of other stuff. So be careful how you tag what you do, how you position yourself, especially if you're a creative and you want that space to experiment and do new things. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one particular thing unless that's what you actually want to do, period. So I always say though, leave that, because I know what happens. You go, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. No, I want to do something else. And then that gets confusing to the overall positioning if you pigeonhole yourself from the get-go. So just be careful of that. Terry, if you want to throw in your two things and see, I might be able to help you merge them. If you want to do that, I'd be happy to help you. Donald says, you clever clogs, yeah. Donald says, what's the story behind Tara Boo? Great question, Donald. Oh, Jeannie Mac. Well, Donald, Boo is a pet name for me. And when I lived in Cork, people in Cork, and specifically my friend Gillian Bulger, always called me Boo. And the name kind of stuck. Like I didn't go around going, Boo. Maybe I did for a while, but no, I don't think I did. It just kind of stuck. Here's Boo. I don't know why. Maybe Gillian would like to come on and answer that. Actually, I'll tell you, Gillian, where did Boo start from? But it was a pet name from when I was, when I moved to the Cork city first, when I was 17, 18. And I started meeting people there, and people just started calling me Boo, Tara Boo. And that's when I started my Facebook profile. And I said, well, I'm going to call myself Tara Boo because everyone calls me Tara Boo. And then I kind of stuck. So there you go, Donal. There's no wine involved. I don't think so anyway. Maybe there was. But it was a long time ago. So that's right. It was the pet name. Thanks, Donal. Okay, so that's it. I want you to think about names, and I want you to not dement yourself too much. Have a look at onelook.com and shoot me in the comments if you want any help with your stuff. Terry, I'm gonna talk to you after the live stream in the comments below, and we'll bash stuff out. And anyone else that wants a hand with stuff regarding branding and naming and all that fun stuff, hit below. And tune in next Wednesday, 11 a.m. for the Biscuit Box Live. And I'll talk to you then. Gang, have a great week, and thanks for joining me on the show, and I'll speak to you later. Bye. Keep creative. Bye.